Okay, so most of us started our businesses to be able to have more freedom, right? I mean, if you're here, that's probably one of the main reasons. And one of the things that's really important about that is to be able to have that freedom to be away from your desk, take time off, travel, go on maternity leave, um, just have an off day without stress. And so I see a lot of entrepreneurs being like, yeah, I make my own schedule. But when they take a day off, they're like feeling guilty or stressed, or when they're on vacation, they're still checking their phone every 5 minutes, trying to get on Wi-Fi. And no shame, like I've been there. But I want to share with you the process that I use to take time off without stress. And by the time you're watching this video, I should have had a baby. I hope, otherwise I'd be extremely overdue. And I'm batching this beforehand. But the cool thing is that this exact process that I use to take time off, I specifically use this, well, up until now, I've used this before I go on vacation. And what I did is I actually took this exact same process and kind of put it on steroids to plan for taking time off for maternity leave. I'm kind of doing a DIY maternity leave using this exact same process. So whether you're using this to just take a weekend off, or like a long weekend, or a vacation, or a couple of months, I think the same process is going to work. I will report back once I've actually had the baby. So here's what you want to do. If being away from your desk stresses you out, I want you to try following this process before the next time you plan to go away. Of course, things come up and sometimes you need to just be away from your computer and you didn't plan for it. And that can be really stressful, and that's fine. That's like a normal part of life. But if you're going away, try this process. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go through your schedule for, let's say, the week. Let's say you're going away on a week vacation. Look at your schedule for that week, and I want you to slowly start eliminating anything that's already in your calendar. So for me, I have a lot of like recurring meetings, or recurring like content planning days or project days. I have a lot of recurring tasks in my calendar because that helps me kind of keep up on a week to week basis. And what you want to do is you want to start either eliminating them. So if it's like meetings, reach out to people, hey, I got to move this, or let's not meet this week, whatever, or actually move those things around. So for example, if I was planning to film a video while I was away on vacation, I would move that content time to the week before. So you want to start moving so everything is out of your calendar for that week that you're going to be away. And then you're going to notice that there are some things that are a little bit more difficult to move or whatever. And so then you can make a plan for those things. So that's step one. Then step two, sorry, I'm so out of breath. Then step two is to make your crazy list. And I love a crazy list. This is when I generally take a whole big page in my notebook, or like multiple different notes in my notes app. And I just write out like the million and one things that are rolling around in my mind of stuff that I want to do before I go away, or projects that I kind of like want to get done in the next couple of weeks. And I should mention, you want to start working on this plan at least a month before you're going away. If you're booking a last minute trip, cool, figure it out. But ideally, you've booked your trip, you have a little bit of notice, start this process a month ahead of time. So you give yourself some wiggle room so that you can plan effectively. Then you want to create your crazy list. This is a list of everything you've got going on, big, small, urgent, not urgent, just everything. And if some life things end up in there, that's totally fine too. But now the really important part is to now go through that list and start prioritizing what is most important. This needs to be done before I go. And then what are things that are like, I really want to have this done, but it's not like absolutely essential. So basically prioritize that list from most important to least important. Okay. This is really vital, because what I notice is I'll do the next step, which is to put all of those things in my calendar, give myself extra time. You guys know how I do, pretty much always have the same advice. Take a task, think of how long it's going to take you, add a little buffer time, add that to your calendar. That's going to help you feel really good in the weeks leading up to your trip or the time that you're going to be away. But I pretty much always notice that I overestimate how much I can get done in the month or 3 weeks or whatever it is before my trip. And so you're going to start to eliminate things. And what you want is you want those things to be the things that you've scheduled maybe the week before your trip. So these are the things that are lowest on your priority list. And if they don't get done, it's not that big of a deal, right? You can move it to when you get back or whatever. So that's really, really important because I've almost never got through my whole crazy list before a trip. Like it just doesn't happen. And even, as I'm planning for this maternity leave, there was a few big things that I wanted to do. And I just slowly started to realize like, that was a great idea, but I don't think now is the right time for it. And I think there's better places for me to spend my time leading up to the baby getting here. And so it's a natural part of the process. And once you know the things that are least important, those things can kind of be moved, and it's not like you're not going to panic. Then the other thing that you want to know is the answer to these two questions. What are your goals while you're gone? And what are your goals when you're back? So this is really important because when I get back to my desk after a vacation, I'm usually like looking at my to-do list, like, what was I talking about? Like, I don't even, when you write chicken scratch on your notes and you're like, what was that? And so you want to give yourself a really clear idea when I get back, hey, these are the first things that need to happen. So you're not scrambling to like answer all those emails that probably came in and see what, messages your clients have sent you or what your team needs and all of this stuff. You want to have a clear, short, concise list for when you get back. But also you want to know, what do I want to get done while I'm gone? And I think that this is really important because as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we just can't completely unplug. And so by giving myself kind of like boundaries around what I want to accomplish while I'm away, it just makes my life a lot easier. So some of the things are, I just went away a couple of weeks ago. One thing that I wanted to do was document as much of the trip as possible. Another thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to share about this other organization who I agreed to help promote their campaign. Those are two things that I really wanted to accomplish while I was gone. Sometimes I would, and the third thing was have a call with my MPQ students. I wanted to do that while I was away, and so that was happening. Sometimes what I would want to accomplish while I'm gone is answer all my emails. I like to personally have a vacation reply on my inbox usually, but sometimes you're waiting for an important email. So you might say like, make sure you get back to so-and-so when they reply to you, or close that deal that's kind of open right now with someone you just had a discovery call with. That kind of gives you some boundaries while you're gone, so you don't feel like I should get back to my team or I should get back to this, because you can actually communicate those things before you go. So before I leave on vacation, I usually tell my team, hey, I'm going to check in on Thursday. So if you need anything like super urgent before then, make sure you actually send me a message on WhatsApp, because I'm not going to be checking Trello where we usually communicate or whatever, right? And then your team knows what's up and they're not like, this bitch is ignoring me. They know what's going on, and they know that if they have some stuff for you to review or whatever, they can put it in before Thursday. So everybody's being a little bit more efficient and stuff like that. So I actually think knowing what your goals are for when you're gone is really helpful, because otherwise, it's tempting, right? As an entrepreneur, you can kind of start to creep. Like you go on your computer to answer that one email that you said you were going to do, and then you're checking in with your clients, and then this, and then that, and then this. And that's fine if you want to do that. But if that's going to, kind of stress you out while you're away, then just make sure that you have those things clarified ahead of time. And when you get back, you'll have your list, you'll know what your goals are, you'll be super ready to ease back into things in a way that doesn't feel frantic. And that way you don't have to be stressed at all while you're gone, because you've prepped, you have boundaries around when you're gone, and you have your goals set for when you come back. I hope you find that helpful. And if you want more in depth into what I'm actually doing, and I'm following almost that exact process, but quite a bit more moving pieces to it for when I'm actually taking time off after I have the baby, let me know. And maybe that's something that I will start putting together over the next couple of weeks. And hopefully I'll have a little bit more insight once I'm actually in it as well. Okay, chat with you guys soon. Bye.